By the end of this video, you'll know how to use all three arc commands that are available in Fusion 360. Hey there, it's Kevin Kennedy, and welcome to the Product Design Online YouTube channel, where I demo all things Fusion 360. If you're new here, be sure to hit that red subscribe button and go ahead and comment below and let me know what you plan on using Fusion 360 for. For this demo, I'll be using some sketches that I've gone ahead and set up to reinforce how the arcs work. You can download the demo file in the video description. The arcs can be accessed from either the Sketch drop-down menu or in the right-click Sketch menu. From both menu locations, you'll notice that there are three different types of arcs. There are 3-point arcs, center point arcs, and tangent arcs. For the first example, I'll demonstrate how to create a 3-point arc. I'll double-click on the sketch in the timeline to edit the sketch, so I can draw the arcs by referencing this pre-existing geometry. Now, the arc doesn't have any default keyboard shortcuts, so I'll right-click and select the 3-point arc from the Sketch menu. With the 3-point arc activated, we'll first have to define 2 points of the arc, and then the third point will let us define the height of the arc. This arc is commonly used when you have 2 endpoints that you'd like to connect with a curve. I'll click on the left endpoint for the first point of the arc, and then I'll click on the right endpoint for the second point of the arc. Then, you'll notice as I move my mouse around freely, the arc height moves along with it. I can click to snap the height in place at any of the sketch entities that allow snapping. For this demo, I'll simply click the pre-existing point that I created, and you'll see the height of the arc is defined and this first arc is now finished. As with any sketch tool, the arc command is still active until you hit the escape key on your keyboard or until you activate another command. I'll use the Features option section of the Arc dialog box to change to the center point arc. The center point arc is the first option, so I'll select that to activate it. The center point arc is typically used to create concentric features utilizing the same center point. For this example, I'll draw 2 center point arcs and then connect them with a pair of lines. As the name suggests, this arc's first point is the center point. I'll select this pre-existing point. Next, you'll need to define the radius of the arc. I'll type out 20 millimeters and then hit the Tab key to lock the dimension in place. After that, I'll click with my mouse to set the horizontal line. As I begin to move my mouse cursor around, you'll notice that the next point of the arc is defined by a degree input field, and it lets you go in either direction. I'll type out 130 millimeters, followed by the Tab key to lock the dimension in place, and then I'll click to set the arc. Next, I'll draw another arc just a bit larger. Again, the benefit here is that they will share the same center point. The center point arc is still activated because I haven't changed commands. Therefore, I'll click on the same center point and I'll type out 30 millimeters for this horizontal line, followed by the Tab key to lock the dimension in place, and then I will click with my mouse to set the line in place. Next, I'll make this arc 130 millimeters as well, followed by the Tab key to lock the dimension in place, and once again, I'll have to click with my mouse to set the arc. Lastly, I'll hit the keyboard shortcut letter L as in Lima to call the line tool. I'll click on the endpoints of each arc and I'll connect them with lines to close the profile shape. Once the profile shape is completely closed, you'll get a confirmation by the shape having an orange background highlight. Now, the final arc tool to demo is the tangent arc. The tangent arc tool is used to create an arc between 2 sketch entities with a curve tangent to the first entity selected. I'll activate the tangent arc command from the Sketch drop-down menu. This arc command only requires 2 clicks. I'll click the left endpoint first and then drag the mouse up to the other endpoint. As I drag my mouse, you'll notice the line is already starting to curve into an arc. Then, as I click on the second point, it places a second tangent constraint, as denoted by both of these tangent constraint icons. Now, it's important to note here that the tangent arc only adds the tangent constraint to the first point. However, my demo sketch geometry was equally spaced, which is why the second tangent constraint was automatically applied. Another important detail to note is that the tangent arcs can also be created within the line tool. To demo this, I'll select the line tool from the Sketch drop-down list. Next, I'll simply draw a few lines. Then you'll notice if I click and drag with my mouse, this time not letting go of that left mouse button, it will automatically start to create a tangent arc. As you can imagine, this can be pretty powerful once you get the hang of it. It can save a ton of time from having to switch back and forth between the arc command and the line command. In summary, there are 3 different types of arcs in Fusion 360. Which one you use really depends on the type of sketch geometry that you have available. The 3-point arc is helpful when you have 2 connecting points and a radius to specify. The center point arc is helpful when you know the exact center point of the arc, but don't have any other geometry to reference. And finally, the tangent arc is a quick and easy way to make arcs tangent to existing geometry. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions at all about this tutorial or Fusion 360 questions in general, then be sure to comment them below. Hit that thumbs up icon if you learned something in this video, and click subscribe, followed by that little bell icon to be notified of more Fusion 360 tutorials.